Day Talk. I'm Levon, and we are live on YouTube. We're also live on Facebook on the Le Vintage Decor page, and we're cross-posting it to the workshops at Le Vintage Decor. And tonight we're going to be doing a sign. It's a real simple project. It's a garage sign. So we're repurposing a board that we used before, and I'm going to get painting right away. And then I'm going to talk to you about some things that we have going on. So I'm going to sand the board first, just because whenever you have any paint on there before, then you might have a little raised surface. So I'm just going to go over that real quick with sandpaper. And it's not really critical, but just anything to make the project a little smoother. And I'm going to wipe the dust off of that. Okay, and it feels smoother already. So what we're going to be doing is making a garage sign. So this is really cute. It's something that you could give to a guy for a gift, or a girl that has a garage. You could even change it to say she shed or something else. But I'll put the screen down, and if you come on, say hi, and we're just going to get painting right away, because we're going to be stamping too. So as I mentioned, we're going to be doing this in a class, and this is my sample. So you'll get everything you need in the class, and we're going to be using some stamps on this to spell out the word garage. And my inspiration for this is kind of a vintage enamel sign. You know, you used to see them in garages, diners and that kind of thing. So I'm just putting a coat of, I believe this is saltwater, silk Dixie Belle paint. And I'm just putting a coat of that on. And when you come to class, we're doing something that's cool. You can either get the stamp that we're going to use, or if you want to build your collection of products, you can get IOD dollars, and you can use it on a different product if you like. So this is going to include the sign, the board that we're using, and also the stamp. So already I have one coat on here, and I'm going to set this aside to dry. This is sticking a little bit because I put some masking tape around the edges, about 1/4 inch, because if you think about those old signs, they all sort of have a border around them. So I'm just going to set this aside to dry, and we probably are going to do a second coat on that, but you know, it's so warm, it's probably going to dry pretty quickly. So let me show you the sign, or the letters we're going to be using. So this is the retro stamp set. So here's what you get in the retro stamp set. It's a double set. So you get the entire alphabet, you get 2 sheets, and you also get a set of masks. Now the masks are cool. They're all the letters. These are going to be really important when you look at, say for instance, the t-shirt one we have. If you're familiar with IOD products at all, then you've probably seen Sally model the Wild and Free t-shirt that they used with the serpentine stamp. Well, we're going to be doing that. So you'll want to check with the workshops at Le Vintage Decor page on Facebook, and that'll have all of the classes that we're going to be doing. So I'm going to peel off this back sheet. This is the first time I've used these, so I'm going to condition them. So we're going to be using that sandpaper again. Sorry for the noise. And this sheet we can use to put some of our letters on. And then I'm going to take the sheet off of this one too. They do also sell thin mounts that you can use they have a grid, sorry, have a grid printed on them, and it makes it easy to get your letters even. So I'm still, working through all these products and getting to know them, and one by one looking at them. So I'm going to this is how you condition these stamps when they're new. You just take a piece of sandpaper or sanding block, and you just go over the letters or your stamp in general. Just go over it in one direction and then another. And this is just a 220 grit sanding pad. Okay, so we did that one. Okay, and so you might be wondering, well, why are you showing this on Tuesday Talk if you're going to do it in a class? But if you pay for a class, then you also get the stamp set. So that would be why. So if you watch tonight and you plan on taking the class, then you'll be that much further ahead. You'll be a pro. You'll have yours done in 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to get the letters that we need. So we're going to spell garage. So we need a G. And this is going to be interesting because we're going to be reusing a couple of these letters. A. And don't be afraid. These are silicone, and they are not going to tear when you get them off your sheet. And the R. We already have the A and the G, and then we need an E. So we're going to be doing our stamping in black, and we're going to be using the IOD ink. And let me check this, and I think we can safely put well, let me dry it a little bit, and then we'll put a second coat on there. I hate to get the hairdryer out, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Get this dry real quick. Okay, so when we're using the hairdryer, I hate to do it, but when you're doing a live, you can't really help it. So that's the best way to get the project done. I'm going to use this slightly smaller brush because I put the other one in water. And for the smoothest finish, you want to sand in between coats. I didn't. I love silk paint, and I'm being pretty generous with it. It's a nice self-leveling paint. Except I've got a few crumbs in there. I'm not sure what that's all about. I always call it paint crumbs. It's not really crumbs. I don't eat and paint. It's dangerous. I've heard lots of stories about people picking up their paint water, like if they're drinking coffee instead of their drink. I've never drank paint water yet. I think I have put my brush in my drink, though, before. Okay. Well, that's all there is to that. I could take the tape off and do the outside and then let it all dry at once. I'd risk ruining my paint, but you know, you only live once. So we had our grand open house on Saturday, and it was a success. We sold a lot of paint, and I'll be announcing the winner. We did a gift certificate, and it was a really nice day. I'm really happy and settled in my new location, and so it was a great day. If you're watching on Facebook, there's a link in there to the YouTube channel, so if you haven't subscribed, that would be awesome if you do. And if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, also it would be awesome if you subscribe. I enrolled in a couple challenges. There's a maker's challenge that's a big, and then next month is the another ugly duckling challenge. Okay, so I have this border around here, and I'm just going to take and use this anchor paint, which is black, and I'm going to make a border around there. I could leave it in that gray color, but my vision for this is to use black. So we're going to be stamping, and then we're going to be painting in letters as well. So I just want to make a border along here. I don't know, you guys can see what I'm doing. I'll move it down here. I have a nice flat brush, and I'm just running it along there. And if it isn't perfectly straight, that's okay, because if you look at those signs, they are not perfect. If you look at old enamel, it's definitely not perfect. We also have the Crack-A-Lure stamp that we're going to be putting some texture on here as well. So we'll get to all that good stuff. So I hope everybody's doing good this evening. I feel like the summer has been, it seems to be going fast, but I feel like it's been a good summer. I feel like we've been relatively fortunate with our weather. I know a lot of people have had extreme heat, and we've had a lot of heat too, but I still prefer it over winter. How about you? What's your favorite? Of course, we did a sign last week that said we like fall best of all, so that is kind of ideal. I know this is very simple, black and white, but I'm already loving it, because I just feel like it's going to come out like I envisioned it. I love this anchor color. It is the blackest black in the silk line. Then there's Black Sands, which is kind of a gray black. But silk is an all-in-one paint that has a sealer built in. Okay, carefully flip this baby. And later on, when it's dry, I'll do those edges here. I'm not going to fool around with them now. We're going to worry about getting the surface part of it done. And every now and then, I use my left hand too. You guys can do that? My mom was ambidextrous, and she'd always paint with her left hand or draw with her left hand, and she wrote with her right hand. She had certain tasks that she would do with each hand. I am predominantly right-handed, But if it's a case like this where the thing I'm painting is on my left side, then I'll just go to the left. So it comes in handy whenever you're doing things to be able to change periodically. So our first class is going to be on Thursday this week, and that is the Wild Thing t-shirt. And then we also have a stamped jeans class coming up too. And I think that's the order they're in. I think it's the Wild t-shirt is coming up first, and the jeans are the following week, I think. The jeans came out really cute too. You'll have to check that out. I posted on my Instagram page, I think today, and I had a picture of both of them. So if you swipe through, you'll see both things. But I used the mums, I guess, chrysanthemums flower stamp on the jeans, and that one is going to be one where the masks come in handy with that. But I did sort of a watercolor technique on it, stamped them, painted them, and then restamped them. So I'm excited to wear them. All right, so I got that done. Now I am going to give this a dry with the hair dryer just because we're going to be stamping here, so I don't want anything to be wet. Almost done here. All right, so is it looking like kind of like a piece of enamel that you would imagine, the white enamel with the black edge? So I think it looks pretty decent. Okay, so now we're gonna spell out garage. So it's Garage, so that is 6 letters. So that means 3 and 3. So we're gonna have to put a space after the R and between the R and the A. So I should have something to measure this with. But I don't. So I'm gonna eyeball it. This is very scientific. So I'm going to put my A there. And since we're repeating some of the letters, we're going to have to come back for those. So we'll do the end of garage, and then we'll finish it. Do the front part. So we'll do the rage, and we'll come back and do the ga. Okay, and that thin mount would be really helpful here because it would really make sure we're straight, but I'm just eyeballing it and we're going with it. So I'm going to take this thin thin mount that it came on. And my G is crooked. When the letters are clean, so you want to wash them after you use them, but when your letters are clean, they'll stick to the thin mount. Okay. So we have our letters on here. Now we take the stamp pad. I did ink, so these are the inks, and I love these inks because you can use a sealer on them, which is amazing. The inks I used before, they would run, and store so that you notice I can't talk and do things at the same time. You want to store them upside down to keep the ink flowing. Okay. Now I ink on the around the outside. I want to get it. Oh, okay. That was, I thought that was paint. Okay. So again, middle. I guess so. That's there. So once you set this down, you want to be committed to it. Okay, so we have RAGE. So let's do our GA. So we'll get rid of these other letters, and we have to switch the G and the A around. We'll lay them down on here. Okay, you know what? We already made an impression on there using ink that we already had on there. So if you can see that, I'm gonna stamp it again anyway, very carefully. Have to do it carefully because I don't want to double line. But I am going to go over it with paint because I'm going to fill in the letters. Okay, that works. So let's take a look. So we have, we're getting there. We're progressing. Now, what you can do if you want to, you can take your stamps and you can have some water there and just like down in, or some baby wipes. I'm setting aside when I'm done. I'll clean them. Also put some texture on here. We can do that now, but I'm gonna probably wait until I'm done here painting in. I want to get another flat brush and get my anchor again. I'm not sure if somebody made a comment on YouTube or not, because I thought I saw the screen flip. Sometimes when you comment and I don't see it, then I have to wait till the next comment comes up before I see it again. Hope you guys can see it here. I'm just filling in these letters here. Now, if we want to, when this is all done, we can take a gloss sealer and go over it. I mean, we could treat it as if it was a wooden sign, which it is, but I'm kind of wanting it to have the appearance of enamel. So I may go over it with a gloss sealer. Not 100% sure on that one. Going to have to go. Oh dear. Well, be careful. And thanks for tuning in from Arizona. Take care. Thanks for watching. Come back and see us again next Tuesday. And as always, I always say whenever I don't finish a project or if you can't stick around for the whole video, I always post my results on Instagram and Facebook. And this one is going to be shown as the sample for the class that we're going to do on this. And again, it's pretty easy peasy, but when you do the class, you get the fun, the fellowship, and the stamps. So that's always fun. And like I said, I'm going to do IOD dollars. So let's say you take this class and then you want to take the t-shirt class. Of course, the t-shirt class is first, but anyway, after we start, I'm sure we'll repeat some of the more popular ones, but we're going to be doing some fall ones and everything. But let's say you go to a class and you already got this stamp set. So you can then use the money that you would have paid for the class towards another IOD product. So that is going to work. Your usually includes all of the things that are needed for the board stuff. So we'll see how it works out, but I think that's probably a fair way to do it. That way you can really build your collection, because this is addictive. And like I said, you could do this sign, all kinds of things. You could say workshop, you could say shed, whatever you want to say. I turned my air conditioner here because I'm doing it right beside me. So I am cooking right now, let me tell you. I can only imagine how you people in Texas and Arizona, other places are doing, because it's brutal here. I know that you guys have had 100+ degree days, and we've gotten close to 100, but only 1 or 2 days actually reached 100, but it's still hot. But here, I know some places it's a little more dry. Here we have humidity too, so it's just muggy and hot. And as I say all the time, I like better than there, though. I'll take this over shoveling snow any day. I think this is looking cute. I like it. And the last thing we're going to do to it is going to add that little last touch. And I'm thinking that I'm probably going to go over it with the clear sealer in the gloss, just to give it that enamel look. Another thing that might be fun to do to it is put a couple of white spots on the edge, just because you know how enamel chips like that. But another thing too, I want to put that crackle on there. So once I do that, it might actually then look more like a wooden sign, and maybe we'll go with that. This paint, silk, has a built-in sealer. So technically we do not need to seal it. So something like this would make a great gift for somebody for Christmas or anytime, especially if you personalize it. You could easily do that too. Um, you could put Dad's garage or, you know, Joe's garage or Sue's garage, whatever. Try to eat out just a tad. I can always come back over it with white too. You know, a lot of these vintage signs were hand painted. We actually have one in our garage, ironically, saying garage, but the people that owns this house had a store, like a meat market type of thing, or kind of a little convenience store, and they sold fresh meats and stuff. And there's a hand painted sign out there. There's one up in the attic too. So just kind of neat little piece of history. But yeah, back in the day, all the signs were hand painted. So me being the vintage girl that I am, you know, I hand painted my sign. And I do love my Dig Bell paint, you know. They the signs that I've done, I've painted with Dixie Bell and hung them outside and all kinds of weather, and they're fine. So I've done 3 outdoor signs that I painted myself. All right. I really like the way this is looking. I'm going to hold it up for you to see it. Like I said, I'll paint around those edges later. Isn't that cute? I really like it. Okay, so the last little touch we're going to do is crackle. Now this is an old crackle, and I cut it because you know you can just use corner and pieces of it, but you can also have a newer version of it where there's a couple of textures. So I should have opened one of those and some of the different ones. There would have been other ones that would have been cool too. So I do like this crackle. So I'm just going to stamp this a little bit. Just want you to be able to see it here. Try to make it so you guys can all see. And this doesn't have to be perfect either. This is just going to be really super subtle. We're just going to do a little bit of it here and there. Does not have to be perfect. Can you hear the dog next door? Okay, I'm going to show you this. This is so subtle. It's just a little bit of crackle. I'm just going to do it on the other side, maybe a little on the top and bottom. Then I'm going to let this dry. I'll be doing around the edges, and also now I'm going to avoid this corner because I don't want it to look like a corner piece, if you know what I mean. a little bit in there. Smudge my paint here. Okay. Let's hold it up here and see. I was gonna say I'm gonna put the screen up a little bit, but I'll wait. But what do you think, guys? I know it's plain and simple. Pardon my hand, and it's black and white. Pardon me again. But I think it's really cool. Boy, I'm crooked here. So yeah, I just think it's really cool, very simple, and I think it'd make a great gift. Again, you can personalize it or do whatever you want, change the words. So many things you could do with it, but that's it for tonight, folks. I'm glad you joined, and may or may not put the clear on top of it. But here's our garage sign, and stay tuned for those classes. And we'll see you Saturday on Step by Step. All right. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.